Imagine you are shopping for a large 3-row SUV, people mover. It's comfortable, it can do off-road things. It hides its speed, it's very quiet inside, still has a lot of power. You might be thinking Suburban and Expedition.
Tahoe, all of those, yeah.
All the big ones. You might think Sequoia, but does Armada come to mind? Do you think Nissan Armada? Oh yeah, that's right. Nissan builds one. They don't build the Titan anymore, but they do build the Armada.
Interesting.
It has been completely redone, revised for 2025. Now, we asked Nissan for the Platinum Reserve, which is the top end, but I'm a little glad, actually I'm a lot glad, that we didn't get it because it rolls on 22s, which we have found to ruin the ride quality. Remember the GX550?
Luxury I'm sorry,
Platinum,
but the big luxury
duper?
SUVs should not be on tires that thin. They need more sidewall.
Good.
Looks great. This is on 20s instead of 22s because it is the Pro 4X, which means it gets a 2-inch lift from the factory, which this looks a little odd on its 2-inch lift, but 2-inch lift from the factory and smaller wheels, and as a result, the ride is excellent.
It's superb.
I'm surprised by how good.
It's excellent. We are leaving a Hooked on Driving track day at NCM Motorsports Park. That is the National Corvette Museum track.
Yep.
Nissan has given us the Pro 4X. Thank you, Nissan. Really appreciate it. We picked it up in Nashville. We are headed back along with a giant rainstorm.
You know, we may be in the rain here in a moment. We'll see. It's been scattered showers for 2 days.
Testing.
Which makes a good track day, which makes a fun track day. If you're at a track day, Hooked on Driving, and it rains, please go out, because the stuff you learn when it's raining on the track is fantastic. It has nothing to do with the Nissan Armada, but it is an important reality of life.
Go
for
get
sure.
good at something you're not.
Yes.
Great cars, great roads, and all the reasons we love to drive. Road trips, comparisons, test drives, and podcasts. This is Everyday Driver.
I keep seeing Nissans around in this area, and I think, why am I seeing so many Nissans? That's right.
HQ in Nashville. Yep.
So we had to get the Armada because we hadn't driven it yet, and it doesn't come to our minds.
True.
It has turned out to be the car for our trip. It is superb. We kept noticing how quiet and comfortable and actually powerful this thing is. The engine is a twin-turbo V6. I feel like Nissan has become the turbo V6 company, and I think they should lean heavily into that. This is not the same engine in the Z car, but it is a derivative of the GTR engine, which is probably why the Nismo version is coming soon, which I asked for. We'll get to that at some point. We'll get there.
6,500-pound Nismo product. Doesn't seem like those things connect, but they are making a Nismo version of this. I mean, this, again, the derivative of a 3.5-liter V6 that you find in the GTR. So it is twin turbo. It's a bigger engine than the one in the Z car. That is 425 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque, and sudden rain cloud. This has been our whole weekend. Sudden instant rainstorm. Okay, that's happening. Yep. This has been our weekend in the southeast. The Nashville area is sunny, really perfect and warm and hot for one moment, and then monsoon Vietnam rain. That's what we're dealing with.
Yes. Sunny 30 seconds ago.
Now it's just liquid sunshine and lots of it. Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay, well, we'll push on. We'll keep driving through this. We can't experience the power right now because of rain, but I am impressed by how fast our speeds have been.
Yes.
I've been looking down and we're going 90 at points because it's quiet, it's smooth, lots of power. I'm very impressed, and to be quite honest, I didn't think Nissan had it in them. And I think because of all the vitriol we've shown Nissan, because of all the financial problems and all the crap that Nissan has been through in the last, I don't know, 5-8 years, everybody has kind of discounted Nissan. Everybody is not really looking at, you know what, that should be on my shopping list.
True, yeah.
And I am happy to say that the Armada should go back on your shopping list. The seats are excellent.
Seats are very good.
It's quiet.
Yes.
It's fast. It's smooth. I think this is what shoppers are looking for, and I feel like they're doing what Toyota has done. I don't like the Sequoia as much as I like this. And the Sequoia is more powerful, faster. I think it's about the same price.
It's more iconic, for sure.
For sure. And the Armada,
Well,
what is that? The valet guy at the airport said, that's a Nissan?
yeah.
Really?
Totally. No, and people at the track day kept noticing it in the parking lot. The Nissan Armada, they were asking us about it because they was like, what is that rental car? Because they'd never seen one and they thought it looked cool. I mean, this really does compete with the Tahoes and Suburbans of the world. Now, it doesn't have nearly the cargo space you're expecting for a big body-on-frame 7 or 8-seater. The space behind the third row is quite small, especially when you open up the back. Now, granted, it is on the Tahoes as well. It's
True.
smaller than you think.
But the reason for that is because they've increased the rear seat legroom, the third row legroom.
Third row has almost 6 inches more legroom than it did. Third row, which is quite impressive.
The rain is suddenly gone.
And
it's dry.
That's what we're doing. We're now dry, sunny. Okay,
well,
wait.
Not.
No, we're fits and starts.
It was sunny and raining at one point. Like hot sunshine and rain.
Yep.
I don't know how that's possible, but apparently it is in Kentucky. And we're back out of it.
We're back out of it, yeah. That stopped at the Tennessee border, I think. That's where we are, yeah.
I wanted to not like this, and Nissan is giving us lots of reasons to like it. It's still $80,000.
True.
You could say, well, they don't make a V8 anymore, and it's not a V8. Well, neither is Toyota.
True, yeah.
The downside that I'm thinking about is the car has been calculating about 18 mpg, which you think the reason to switch to a fewer cylinder, turbocharged engine.
We're going to get better gas mileage.
But
I mean, maybe.
Don't.
When they're down that low, when you're down below 20,
it's been kind of thirsty.
Every couple of miles makes a difference. But this has definitely been thirsty. This really is much more a Tahoe competitor than a Sequoia competitor. Sequoia, actually, you're right, doesn't drive as well as this.
No.
I don't think the seats are as good as this.
I don't like the interior quite as much.
And it feels actually a little bit smaller. This feels bigger than the Sequoia.
Okay.
I think. I mean, just it has more of that commanding presence on the road that you get from a Tahoe or a Suburban. It feels very much like a competitor to that, which is even more interesting considering they stopped making the Titan because no one was buying the Titan, so they don't make a big pickup anymore. No V8, but this is definitely one of those big American body-on-frame SUV competitors. And again, this is Nashville-based Nissan now, which is very funny. There's only a couple of places that show that Nissan is still building on the past, and one of them is there's a weird frame beam behind the front wheels.
I noticed that too.
And the way that got integrated almost feels like this is a body kit on an older frame, and it probably to some degree is, because Nissan's been doing that as much as they can to kind of save costs but still update their fleet. So that's one of the only places where this reveals itself as kind of surprising, and wait a minute, what are they doing there with this body kit, if you will? You can't tell that when you drive it. You drive it, it drives very well, it drives purpose-built, and I'm quite impressed.
9-speed transmission on this bad boy. And you know what? The brakes make this 6,000-pound truck feel kind of small.
Brakes and the power
this
are
is a
excellent.
Huge
This
truck.
is big. It is big, for sure, yeah.
Got plenty of braking. Before you clobber the styling, I want you to look at two different elements this has that make it, to my eye, look very professional.
Okay.
Big boxy shape. Boxes mean luxury, right?
Apparently.
Nissan has leaned into the boxy thing, which means this is super luxurious, right?
It's a box. Shouldn't it be awesome inside? Yeah.
From a rear 3/4 angle, the nose looks too boxy. I want it to drop off a little bit more, but then you walk around to the front and you'll notice, first of all, the Nissan hardbody, the triple inlet just below the hood line. In addition to Nissan's new styling, of course, it's got to be tall. It's got to have a signature lighting look to it. The Pro 4X actually looks better because it's got the front skid plate with the red tow hooks, and it doesn't drop all the way with this giant tall wall like the Nismo version has.
Nismo version looks got like a weird, like one of those guys when they grow a beard that just looks like it's a box below their chin. It has that kind of look about it. Yeah.
So follow the shut line with your eye for the hood. The shut line follows the signature shoulder line all the way down and connects exactly where the new giant headlight is, and it hides it very well. It's very sophisticated shut line. And then if you look in the back, that right at the D pillar, you'll see this facet where the slab sides terminate. They don't go right into a taillight. There's a little bit of a lip. There's a raised lip that becomes a styling element that is vertical, complements the rear of the car, and then twists to the bottom in the bumper and fades out. It's a subtle thing, but how do you make a box not a box? They've got that C-pillar, that twist, and it says Armada very tastefully everywhere. I think it's really well done, and it's a good signature look for Nissan. Climb inside, the seats are shockingly good.
They're very good.
They're superb. The quilted leather is excellent. It feels high quality. I like the instrument panel. It's very well integrated, and this feels like Hyundai Genesis and Mercedes to me.
Yeah, the single no hood, single screen that is super wide with two screens next to each other. You can get a smaller screen filling this with a larger border. It's the same structure, but there's like a 12.3-inch version and a 14-inch version. This is a 14-inch version. This is a loaded vehicle at $80,000. You can get into these for as low as $50,000. So there are things that will bring the price down. Again, it's a loaded 4X. I'm actually ready to drive. There's more to say over there, but this has surprised us. It's not faultless, but it has surprised us more than either one of us expected. I came in ambivalent, like, all right, we'll drive the Armada, and have been pleasantly surprised. I look forward to driving it more.
All right, drive this, and when you do, you get to use the new push-button transmission that's in the Murano and probably a whole lot of other new Nissans.
Yep.
But here, it works.
Okay, all right. Couple more styling and interior things before we head out. One of the things is on this Pro 4X, again, it's got, I agree with you, the skid plates help, and it does help the look. I actually don't mind the 2-inch lift, but as a result, I actually think the wheels are too small.
They're too small.
The tires
are too small.
The wheels, I'm glad we don't have the big 22. I feel like it needs a bigger, more beefy tire that fills the wheel arch better, because it just feels like it's up on high heels and it's not sure of itself.
And it looks slightly too small. It looks
a little bit too small. That's, I mean, I'm being picky because I actually much prefer the ride in this than I know I would in the 22s, because I think that would probably settle itself down on the suspension. Look-wise, probably look cool, because this looks a little odd, but I don't think it would ride nearly as well, because this has astounded us with the ride. There's that. Another thing you have to know is that Nissan is very worried about the temperature of the passengers. They have a biometric sensor up here that is sensing the heat or cool in the cabin. We've got a big, full monster sunroof here we can pull back for both rows. So what it's doing is it's actually seeing the temperature of the people in the cabin, and it is setting the HVAC accordingly. It has been very hot and very humid this entire weekend. We have not started this car once without it kicking on super low settings of the temperature, AC cranked, and also turning on the cooled seats instantly. So it is aware of what's going on and is trying to make you as comfortable as possible, which is very cool. All right, so park, reverse, no virtual drive. You know, because reverse does weird things in comparison to everything else. You know there's a actual requirement that means that the reverse can't feel like anything else. Because I know you don't like that, but you know that there has to be something that does that.
It's also not a plunger. It's a hinged button with a raised ridge on it. So you do know technically it's different, but it operates differently, and you cannot push it like a plunger because it swivels on the hinge, and I really don't like that.
So I've just put it in sport mode. Not that I need it.
You're using the dial. Look how easy this is to use.
It's very straightforward.
I'm very impressed with the design
here. This has an air suspension that it actually is adapting here, which is cool. And
by the way, it looks like Carolina Squat, and it's got the Carolina Squat buttons on the rear to lower the back.
Yeah, it kind of has
that. It's a little...
Yeah, for sure. This up on that 2-inch lift looks a little bit oddball a lot of the time, but it does have adaptive air suspension that we have noticed actually working as we drive the car, doing various things. We watched it settle, we watched it move itself up and down, so it is working at all times. I mean, there's always the question with air suspension, what's the longevity of that? Can't tell you, but the effortless reality of what I just did, merging there, I can't overstate the power of this engine. That was barely beyond tip in, and we had plenty of acceleration, and you mentioned it already. You do 90 miles an hour in this without trying. I don't want to give you the impression like Paul and I are going out to see how fast we can take it. It's a huge 6,000-pound SUV. I'm not trying to go quickly, but I look down and go, oh, that's 90.
And it doesn't have the noise that you would think. And the off-road tires, granted, they're not the most aggressive tires, but still, it's quiet. It's a comfortable place to be. It's one of those cars, the trucks, that you want to be in. That happens with Mercedes, with Genesis, but not every one of them. Sequoia certainly not, and the Fords and the Chevys are fine, but I just kind of want to be in this. It's a great place to be.
I'm going to go back to the Tahoe and the Suburbans. It has that feel where you get in it and you know there's nothing sporty about it. I know I'm in sport mode, which means better throttle response. I get it.
You get to use paddles.
There's nothing sporty about it, but the reality is there's tons of space. It's comfortable. It's usable. And you just go, let's drive somewhere. Let's just conquer a couple of states.
Yes.
You have that thought of why not?
Yes.
Because we're comfortable and happy and there's all kinds of tech that works, and I could just hunker down. You can put kids in the back that will ignore you and they'll be on their devices. And they won't even know you've gone through 2 states. You don't even bother looking up and going, hey kids, because they can't hear you. So, but that's the thing. You're just going to go across, I mean, in this case, the whole southeast of the U.S., I feel like, while it is simultaneously raining and sunny as we drive. The temperature is constantly changing. It is downright sticky outside right now, and we are comfortable in here.
It's excellent. Now, all of the trim levels have the ability to tow 8,500 pounds.
Yep.
You'll know how seriously that Nissan is taking this because the trailer brake control is not just integrated, it's front and center. It's right next to your hand on the instrument panel. That's huge. That is an ergonomic thing that Nissan has clearly thought about. It's not down here. It's not an afterthought. It's not an add-on part of the package. Every single one of these can tow 8,500 pounds, and they've put it directly in front of you. Simple squeeze. Very impressive. Everything about this interior is ergonomically sound to me.
Agreed.
It's very well placed. You want to find a function, you know what? It's very easy to find, and buttons that should be buttons are, which is nice. And that push-button transmission frees up a lot of space here. Giant phone holder here, phone charger, 2 cup holders, a gigantic box in here.
The heads of your enemies can go in the center console, that's for sure. Now,
and then this storage space underneath the console down here.
Most everybody's doing a big space down here underneath the console, and that's actually really helpful and usable in this car. Now, I will give you some downsides. This has a lot of piano black here in the center console. We're not a fan. That gets dirty and dusty the minute you leave the showroom. Maybe before. You peel off the protective clear plastic, it's instantly dusty and dirty. And that carries over into the buttons on the steering wheel here. They work fine, but they look like haptic buttons. They have the look of actually being piano black. They have kind of weird rockers on them. I would prefer if these were just matte, individual buttons that would feel a little classier. I'm being picky because I do need you to understand that we have been pleasantly surprised by this. I also think the reality is you get this for in the 70s, and you probably are going to feel like major value for money. At 80, you start to go, that's pretty expensive, but the truth is, a loaded Suburban or Tahoe, the way you want that is $80,000. That's the way those are.
For sure. Hey, we're back in Tennessee all of a sudden.
Yep, the road's changed. There's a rest area we missed. Welcome to Tennessee.
Right. So you might think that this is almost the Nissan Patrol coming to North America, and you're right, it almost is, not quite, but you can rest easy. There's some roots in the GTR, there's some roots in the Nissan Patrol. The good stuff that Nissan's always been known for is shining through. High marks for the grab handles on the A-pillars on both sides. This is an easy one. Just
you're right, and a lot of people
the grab handles right on the A-pillar.
Yep, that's very
That's
good.
like step one when you're designing a giant, tall
huge
SUV.
truck. This is a huge truck.
Really is.
I can't overstate that. And there's a few little downsides.
Acres.
Well, yes, the hood's really obtrusive, and I actually am sitting up here with a tall torso, and I still notice it. Now, there are actually screens you can set up that makes it what they call invisible hood view, and they actually have a way that you can look through it when you're off-roading, and the cameras kind of fake that for you. Also, you can take that camera thing and you can move it around on the screen, 360 style. That's actually a very cool feature as well. So they have thought about it for off-roading, even though you and I always talk about something like this. Would we really off-road it? I don't know that I would.
You certainly could. I mean, this is the Pro 4X, and that trim level has the same hallowed ground as TRD Pro.
It does. That's their
Pro 4X means they're serious about it, and even though we're not four-wheel driving, I'm kind of glad we didn't get the Platinum Reserve and tried this one on-road, because this is usually how it's going to be driven and used, and you might take it camping, but you know what? I think this is the sweet spot.
Well, we keep discovering the thing that manufacturers haven't figured out yet, or maybe the customer hasn't figured out, and that is You don't want super huge wheels on your big monstrous SUV. They look cool, but they don't ride well. And the off-road versions tend to ride better. And we appreciate it when we get into a situation where we're not using it as intended, where it's not using it as a 4x4. We're using it to just commute on the highway, and it gives you a more supple ride. There has been this thing through all vehicles where sport has to mean stiff and rattling, and it doesn't.
No.
Just good suspension is excellent, and one of the things that helps with good suspension is having decent sidewall on your tires. This does. We can absolutely tell the way that it drives.
Also like that the screens, they're big, but they're not super obtrusive.
I agree.
It's almost restrained here, knowing that luxury car makers are getting the message. Screens do not mean luxury.
Yeah.
Screens do not make the car better. So let's pare that back and make something interesting, but it cleans up the instrument panel a lot, and so I do like it. But high marks to Nissan for making something that wasn't on my radar come back around and think, you know what? This is a nice alternative. It's not as fuel efficient as I'd like it to be, but a twin turbo V6 with Nissan's know-how, it seems like they really paid attention to this.
So if you're shopping for the new Armada, or a Yukon, or a Tahoe, or a Suburban, or an old Armada, which frankly don't get the old Armada, get the new one.
Yeah, don't
or a
even
Sequoia,
bother.
all the other stuff we talked about. Look, an eight passenger body on frame monster. You're shopping for that. You need to be on Autotempest.com. It searches all of the search sites as fast as most sites search by themselves. There's actually a new feature now on Autotempest where you can track the prices of what certain cars are doing, and even potentially guess what the pricing might be, so you can try to find the right time, or is the car you're looking at the right price. This is all available at Autotempest.com/everyday. Go there right now. It's all the cars, one search.